Alan, it only seems 5 minutes since you were appointed coach. Here we are, only a few weeks away from the start of the season. How's that first winter gone for you?
Yeah, fairly hectic. It seems to have gone, like you say, JC, really quickly. Really enjoyed it though. The guys have been excellent. They've really brought into some of the stuff that we've been doing. And in terms of support staff, I couldn't have asked for a better group, really. They've gathered around me and helped me out. Realised, it's my first year. So just trying to work out, who does what and what things go where. And yeah, just really enjoying it. And just really looking forward to the start of the season now.
I guess the lads who've been training indoors all winter, they can't wait now to get outdoors. Just how important and beneficial is the trip to Desert Springs going to be?
Yeah, I think it's a long winter, isn't it? It's the longest pre-season ever, a cricket season. So for a lot of the guys, they've been in since November, December at Malvern, and as fantastic a facility as it is, I think the walls are just starting to creep in now. So an opportunity to get outside. We're still doing quite a bit. We get out on the Astros and do quite a bit of fielding, and the weather's been really kind to us this winter, but for the guys to actually get out on grass, and even it's just, 6 or 7 days out there would be fantastic. A change of scenery for the boys, an opportunity to spend some quality time together and, get on some really good facilities and get a chance to get some bat on ball there. Like I say, just out on the outfield as well, doing some fielding.
Now, the other lads who didn't stay at Malvern, they've been playing abroad, a lot of them, for most of the winter. There have been some outstanding performances, haven't there? I mean, you think in particular with the two wicket-keepers, Henry Cullen and Gareth Roderick.
I think Rodders has done remarkably well. He's been very consistent throughout. He's ended up captaining his side out in Cape Town, Greenpoint. So I think he's had a fantastic time out there with his family. So I think spent some quality time there. And Henry is his first year out in Melbourne. He's done really well. I think he had a really strong start pre-Christmas, and then obviously got a big score on Saturday. Out of the score of 280, I think he got about 160. So fantastic for him. I think just for me, it's that experience on and off the field that these guys are experiencing, no matter where they are in their career. So I think, hopefully those guys will have all benefited massively from being outside and enjoying the warm weather out in Australia or South Africa.
It's been great to watch some of the lads play in these franchises. I mean, Adam Hose, what a fantastic big bash that he had.
Yeah, brilliant. We talked about it earlier. I think, it's a big ask to go to a competition you've not been in before. The Big Bash, I think, is a really strong competition. It's played in very different conditions. I think they play their T20 cricket slightly differently. The wickets tend to have a bit more pace in them. The grounds tend to be a lot bigger, so the outfields, the boundary sizes are a lot bigger. So for Adam to adjust the way that he did, I thought he played remarkably well. It was good to watch.
Has there been a more consistent batter in T20 cricket over this last 12 months when you think what he did at Edgbaston and what he's been doing in the winter?
Probably not, no. And he's played some amazing match-winning innings amongst those as well. So I think, Adam should take great confidence from his last 12 months in T20 cricket, and, hopefully we'll benefit from that as the season goes on with us.
And then there's another couple of lads, of course, who've been playing international cricket, Josh Tongue and Jack Haynes. I mean, just how much would they have benefited from that?
Oh, hugely. I've spoke to them quite a bit about that. I think just to be in that environment for starters, we can obviously see what England are doing in the full side. So there's a little bit of a mindset shift there, and that's continued on with the under-19s where Caddy is, and with the Lions where Josh and Jack are at the moment. And I think it's been fantastic to watch that they've both been involved in as much cricket as they have been in that environment. In Sri Lanka, again, with very different conditions for them, but they've adjusted brilliantly well. And to watch, I think Jack's had some nice starts, but not quite kicked on. So he'll be a little bit frustrated with that, no doubt. But that's, the high bar that he sets himself, and he'll have high expectations. And for Josh to take 8 wickets in the game, it was a fantastic effort, especially on those wickets, which are generally pretty flat and the ball doesn't do much sideways movement. So I think he should take great heart from that as well.
It must also give a lot of anticipation for members about a firing Josh Tongue this summer.
Yeah, I think we're all excited about that. The players certainly in the changing room are. For us, didn't play any cricket for about 14 months. So it's like having a new signing again with Josh, and he's come back really strong. He looks as fit as I've ever seen him. He's bowling with real good pace. He's bowling very accurately. And it should be a really exciting time for him this season.
Azhar Ali, of course, made a massive impact last summer, both on and off the field. And I understand that he's coming over early to prepare for the new season.
Yeah, typically Azhar. He total buy-in, which we saw last year. He was fantastic on and off the field, and we hugely benefited from that. On the field, obviously a quality player who played some high quality innings, and then off the field as well, he was such an addition to the changing room in and around training days as well. So yeah, to watch him finish his Test career on a high with Pakistan, with, getting that opportunity to make sure that was his last game. He's playing club cricket in Pakistan at the moment. He's so passionate and loves the game. So he's carrying on, and he was keen to get out here and take part in our pre-season game. So I think he'll be with us for the last one of those, which would be great to have him around.
He had a fantastic send-off, didn't he, that last Test match? The England players and the Pakistan players gave him the sort of send-off that he deserved after the career he's had at international level. I
think so. I'm hopeful he should be very proud of the amount of Test matches he played and the amount of games that he played for Pakistan in all formats, really. So I think, something he should be very proud of, and we're really pleased that he got the recognition that he deserves.
One player who made his mark last year, come straight in, was Kashif Ali. I mean, another player, great potential. It was just a shame he had that broken thumb when he was really starting to show his potential. Yeah,
I think we saw some real flashes from Cash last year. He came into our second 11 and didn't fail. He just carried on. He piling on the runs game after game, so forced his hand really to get into our first 11, which he did. Scored a 50 on debut, scored 100 on his white ball debut in the RL 50. So I think, he made a real impact. And, I think the ceiling with Cash is really high. It'd be really exciting again to see how he progresses over the next couple of years.
And Matthew Waite, has he settled in well? Because we all saw the potential in those 3 or 4 games he played last summer.
Yeah, it was great to have it around. I think the loan system really works at times, and it certainly worked for Matthew and ourselves that he came in, got a bit of a taste of, what it was like to be a Worcestershire player, and we got a bit of taste of what it's like to be in and around Matthew Waite and what the ability that he shows, and it was fantastic to have him around. So he's fitted in well this winter. He's out in Cape Town at the moment, training, so getting a bit of warm weather training. So another person who's out there. He's not playing any games, but he's training and ready to go, I think. So it'll be really exciting for Matthew to come back in. He gives us real strength in that all-rounder position as well, alongside Joe.
He did actually say that he wants to become a genuine all-rounder, which was good to hear.
Yeah, I think it's important that all the players have ambitions, and I think for Matthew on the personal level, he wants to, be that all-rounder spot. And I think last year with Yorkshire, he moved around a little bit in the batting order, but he batted as high as 5 for them in Division 1. So he certainly has a capability of batting in that top 6. And as we saw with the ball last year, I think he showed that he is a really tidy performer and someone who can help us win games of cricket.
Now, you brought in another assistant coach in Richard Jones, like yourself in Kadir Ali, a former Worcestershire player. How has he settled in so far?
Yeah, fantastically well. I was fortunate enough to play with Richard, and then I've watched him develop as a coach. Got some real close ties at Warwickshire still, so understood how he was going about his business, and it was something that was really impressive when we met up with him during the process. He's settled in fantastically well. He's got some real good views on the game, some really clear ones, and it's a slightly different picture. Yes, he was a Worcestershire player, but he's then spent time away from the club as a player and a coach. So for him to come in, he understands the club, he gets what it's all about, the culture of the place, what it means, the history, but also has come with some real fresh ideas. He has some real qualities, attention to detail being one, and his real passion for Worcestershire.
There's going to be a few changes in the Championship this year. 5 points again for a draw like it used to be, 250 to 450 for the batting bonus points, and also the Kookaburra Ball for 2 rounds of games. So a few changes to have to contend with. Yeah,
I think that happens constantly, doesn't it? Over the last couple of years, we're faced with having a toss, not having a toss, having a heavy roller, not having a heavy roller. So it feels like there's a constant, pursuit of trying to find the perfect game and trying to develop, the domestic game as much as possible. So the decisions have been made along that. Sort of ties in a little bit with how England are playing their cricket, certainly with the bonus points with the batting going up from 200 to 250, and likewise at the top end 450. I think it will be a real good experiment to see what it's like with the Kookaburra Ball. I think it will give some players some real exposure of that. We're one of only a handful of countries who play with a Duke ball. The rest play with Kookaburra in general, so that'll be a good experience, I think. And the points for the draw, who knows how that will go. I think there's been a real emphasis on probably not having, result wickets necessarily, but having teams willing to lose a game to win a game. And so putting a little bit less emphasis on draw and points. So that'll be interesting to see how each team goes about that and whether actually tactically anyone changes.
3 new rookie pros this year. Obviously, Henry Cullen's playing abroad all winter, but the other 2, Ollie Cox and Rayan Nadalov, how were they settled in during the second part of the winter day-to-day training?
Yeah, I think so. It's always a test. They've gone from being in school, they went away, both of them went away and played a little bit of cricket. Rayan was out in India and Ollie Cox did a little bit in the junior PSL, then went out to Sydney, so they had a real nice taste of that. Then they've come into the day-to-day stuff, and I think they fitted in really well. You know, I think sometimes it's a bit of a shock to the system, just about going about that day-to-day business, but they fitted in really well. And I think we've already seen some improvements in both of them, how about they go about their cricket in all three, you know, skill sets, and also their physicality as well. So I think start of hopefully a really successful and long journey for them as professional cricketers.
How important is it for the players and the coaches and the staff to interact with the members and get that real special Worcestershire relationship?
I think I talk about it quite a bit. I think every club that I've been at always say they're special, and Worcestershire's no different. And I think part of that being so special is the closeness to the members and feeling really part of the community. You know, we've got such an amazing location here, obviously with the iconic cathedral, but we're a city centre location. We're right in the middle of the community, I believe. And so, you know, for the players and the staff to have that connection with the members is hugely important. I think it should be a huge part of who we are as a club, and the players really, and the staff, you know, they really have an emphasis on making sure that that's something that we continue.
Well, Alan, all the best for the new season, and I hope it goes well in Desert Springs.
Thank you, JC. Lovely to speak to you.